Instead, Headites encourage increased funding for increased study of the human brain, the metabolism of thought, and especially the unique organic mystery of human values, things like having a conscience and morality, and most importantly, sinking our brain teeth into the neurological basis of mythologies, past and present, that are used to symbolize the spiritual capacity that has inescapably typified our evolving human intelligence over the last 500,000 years. Why, we've got a lot of broadcasting to do. Think about it. It's all in your head FM. Forever. You're listening to It's All in Your Head FM, putting the fun back into fundamentalism.
Let us have faith.
He made the trees, he made the seas, he made the elephants too.
Let us have faith.
God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do.
Let us have faith.
But in point of fact, since the Neanderthals until now, we have a choice of many, many cultures' notions of what the afterlife is. And the amazing thing is that they don't cohere very well. Each each culture designs what it thinks is important for its afterlife. And they don't necessarily have any relationship to other people's afterlives. The funny thing is that Americans' near-death experiences confirm our relatively optimistic notion that we're all going to heaven.
Is your heaven in the sky?
But if you look at near-death experiences over 2,000 years of history, you find that most often in the past they were fearful experiences in which people experienced going to hell. And when they recovered from it, then they changed their lives and became good religious people. It seems to most Americans that we don't need to do that. Most of us think we're living just fine lives, and so we experience heaven.
How about your heaven, Eddie?
The band in heaven,
Oh, yes.
they play my favorite song.
My heaven's up in the sky.
They play it once again. They play it all night long.
When we have these experiences,
When you say there, where do you
I think
mean?
it's a normal part of the human mind that we do have these extraordinary experiences. There's a book called Why God Won't Go Away, and it suggests that we are, in a sense, wired to have these extraordinary experiences.
Heaven is a place,
When you say there, where do you mean?
a place where nothing ever happens.
In which our religious life is innovated.
When my first idea of God was
Heaven is a place,
that there was somebody up in heaven
place where nothing ever
And we find new ways of expressing what the afterlife is about.
cultural trance. We all are in this cultural trance.
Heaven, I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak.
So I think of these notions of the afterlife, which are produced by societies, and only recently by individuals, after all, as kinds of mirrors in which a society takes stock of itself and asks itself, what is the most important thing about ourselves? And so I think that that is a very important thing to realize. As to whether any one or another of the particular portraits of the afterlife is true, they tell us one thing or another, and they all have to be believed with a grain of salt.
Said something about God, and my classmate said he isn't real. It was a great discussion, but we all went off with good feelings.
You found the sound, the sound, the universal media network.
I believe it all depends on what you believe. Whoa, whoa, now I believe it all depends on what you believe. To read in the Bible, it ain't necessarily time. I believe it all depends on what you believe. Whoa, whoa. You're liable to read in the Bible ain't necessarily so.
You know I'm afraid to say there's no God, even though I know there's no God.
What? That I don't understand.
So do you believe in God? No, of course not. Why would you take a religious book and say, oh yeah, these have got to be true, this makes sense, when the people who wrote that book thousands of years ago, they were just superstitious and they didn't know how the world really worked.
One of the greatest remaining mysteries of science is the enigma of human consciousness. What makes us who we are creates that sense of the self and the world. Understanding how the brain creates the self is one of the holy grails of modern science.
Well, you don't have an answer.
The human brain.
Well, you don't have an answer.
The human brain.
Well, you don't have an answer.
For it showed that humans are not masters in their own house, that to some degree we are ruled in an unruly way by unconscious forces outside of our awareness.
But the strange thing about fiction is that you can believe it entirely. In fact, you have to believe Hamlet entirely in order to understand what the play is about. So my feeling is that history always tells lies, but since this is fiction, we can safely believe it.
Psychoanalysis has taught us that our intellect is a feeble thing, a tool of our instincts, and that we are all compelled to behave cleverly or stupidly by the commands of our emotional attitudes.